Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to my yoga time. Thanks for joining me today. I have another short feel-good yoga snack. We will need one yoga block for this practice, so have your block ready and we're going to begin kneeling. So come on over into a kneeling position, and if your knees and ankles aren't happy here and there's any pain or discomfort, just skip this pose and move ahead to the next one. Now you have the option to have the hands behind you if you need a little extra support. Otherwise, Dhyani Mudra, left palm on top of the right, bring the tips of the thumbs to touch and create a little bowl with the hands. And let's place the tip of the tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. We'll keep our tongue in this position for the entire class. Maintaining softness in the jaw. And welcoming that gentle tone in the back of your throat for Ujjayi breath. You may even hear the breath much like a sighing sound rolling over the back of the throat. Feel free to stay as you are, otherwise lean back, lift up those knees. Lift the heart, relax the shoulders. And let's lower down, release. Coming into your puppy pose now. Keep the hips up nice and high, arms in front. If you can, bring the hands to prayer above the head, elbows resting on the mat and the forehead. If the shoulders aren't happy here, you can always straighten out the arms, have the hands as wide as the mat. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel the upper body expand as you inhale. Take a little pause before you exhale slowly, softening heart towards the mat. And let's lift the head, coming back up onto all fours, preparing for your downward facing dog. Let's have the pinky fingers meeting the edges of the mat, eyes of the elbows facing forward, tuck the toes under. Let's inhale, little back bend, drop the belly. Then as you exhale, round the spine, lift on up, downward facing dog. We're going to raise the right leg straight away, three-legged dog. Either hold it there or lift the hip, bend the knee and look under the armpit. Flexing the foot as though you're kicking something away. Deepen your breath. Next inhalation, straighten the legs, square the hips. Step that right foot through for a high lunge. Have the feet about hip width apart and then press into both feet as you bring the arms up. So for this high lunge, we want a little bend in the back knee. We're tucking the tailbone under, and then your right hand is going to take the left wrist, lift up and lean over. You want to look past your right hip. And evenly press into both feet to help with your stability. Deepen the breath to deepen the pose. Let's come back to center, warrior two. Ground the left foot down, pivot the hips and shoulders now so you're parallel to the long side of the mat. Very slight angle on the back foot. As you inhale, reverse the warrior. And then as you exhale, triangle pose. Start to straighten the right leg. Bring the back of the palm to the inside of the leg. On your next inhalation, slowly lift the left arm up. And then when you exhale, slowly return to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle pose. Press into both feet. Move the hips back. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, warrior two. Slow movement, slow breath. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left arm up, and we'll stay here for a few breaths. So pressing into both feet, guiding that left shoulder back just a little. And then feel free to stay here, yogis. This is option 1. Option 2, balance pose, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Left hand to the hip. Now you can use your block if you need, and feel free to take a few baby steps in with that back foot, and then placing the right hand in front of the right foot. So option to lift up on the block or fingertips on the floor. If you're stable, take the left arm up, dorsal flexing your left foot. To help with your balance, feel as though you're dragging your right hand towards the right foot to switch on those oblique muscles. And if you're a little wobbly today, stay here. If you would like a quad stretch and to go one step further, bend the knee, reach for the foot. Gently kick the foot into the hand as you welcome the back bend. Check the position of your tongue and the softness in your jaw. Well done, yogis. Downward facing dog. You can either hold your downward facing dog, or if you'd like a flow, come forward into plank. Round the upper back and shoulders. Exhale down, chaturanga, elbows into the ribs. We'll take a Superman Cobra today. Arms out in front. Lift the palms and the elbows, just the fingertips on the floor. Gently drag the hands back. Check in with your breath. Well done. Return to your plank and your downward facing dog. Let's practice that on the other side. Left leg up. Option to open the hip, bend the knee. Straighten the leg, square the hips, step through, high lunge. Feet are hip width apart. Inhale the arms up. Little bend in the back knee, tailbone points down. Left hand takes the right wrist. Lift up and lean over. Warrior 2. Left heel should be intercepting the arch on the right foot. Your next inhalation, reverse the warrior. And then follow the breath into your triangle pose. Press into both feet. Inhaling the arm up. Exhaling warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, warrior 2. Last round. Holding our triangle pose here. Breathing into all 4 limbs. Option to stay there or move into your balance pose, Ardha Chandrasana, either with or without your block. If you took the quad stretch on the other side, you can bend the knee and reach for the foot. Be with your breath. Downward facing dog when you're ready. Let's inhale forward into plank. Option to descend and practice our Superman Cobra as we did before, otherwise an upward facing dog. So if you're taking your upward facing dog, lower down, but don't touch the mat, just hover and then roll over the toes. So up dog, knees and thighs are off the mat, it's only the tops of your feet and your hands. Press the feet down and away from one another. Expand the chest. Breathe. Wide-legged child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees wide. Round the back and then sit back. Arms can be in front. You can make a pillow, or you could take the hands to prayer once again. If you would like a twisted variation, thread your right arm underneath the left. Stay for a few breaths. Firming down through the right arm. Let's change sides. And coming all the way up. Well done, yogis. We're coming down onto our back next, and you will need your yoga block, so do have it close by. And come on down when you're ready. Moving into our supported bridge pose. So you have the option of having the block on the second height. If you prefer, take it down to the lowest height. Now we're doing a slightly different supported bridge pose today. So to begin with, we'll keep the knees bent, tuck the shoulders under. You can turn the palms up to face the ceiling. Just observing the navel rise and fall with the ebb and flow of your breath. And then when you're ready, lift up the right leg only. Take the toes up towards the ceiling. Let's keep the toes pointed as we inhale, and then as you exhale, flex the foot. Next time you point the toes, keep the toes pointed and lower the leg down straight. So we're endeavoring to bring the big toe knuckle to the floor. So the foot will come all the way down. If the big toe knuckle doesn't meet the floor, that's okay. Just move the leg in that direction. So there's an inward rotation happening here. Feel the breath down the right side of the body. If there is any discomfort in your back or your hips, bend the knee and rest with your knees bent. Let's bend the right leg now, change sides. Left foot up, pointing on the inhalation, flexing on the exhalation. With a pointed toe, let's lower the leg down. Try to bring the big toe to the floor. And then deepen the pose by deepening the breath. So option 1, bend your left leg, rest with both knees bent. Option 2, straighten out your right leg as well. Point the right toes and try to bring those big toes towards one another. So there's an inward rotation through both legs. Shoulders tuck under. Just a few breaths here. And let's bend the knees. Press down through the feet. Try and slide the feet away from the shoulders and then lift up the hips. We're holding an active bridge for a few breaths. Don't let the knees splay out. Keep hugging them in towards the center line of the body. Tractioning through the feet. Pressing down through the head and shoulders. And let's remove the block, lift up the heels, and slowly lower the spine back down. When you touch down to the mat, lift up the feet, take the hands to the knees, arms are straight, push the hands into the knees, pull the knees back into the hands, and imprint your lower back into the mat. So there's a little bit of core happening here. Let's relax the shins, cup the hands over the knees, bend the elbows as you exhale, and then inhale to straighten the arms. And if you need longer with this counter stretch, please do take it. Otherwise, recline pigeon is next. We'll go left leg first. So right leg to the floor, left ankle to the right knee. Feel free to stay here. Otherwise, elevate your right foot, place the block underneath. Otherwise, take a hold of your right leg. You can always have the block under the head too if you're straining at all through the neck. And for those that would like a little deeper sensation with a hamstring stretch as well, just move that left heel down a little closer to the hip crease and then straighten your right leg and take a hold wherever you can comfortably reach. And let's lower that right foot down. Keep the left ankle on the knee. Just bring the legs over to the right. We want the sole of the left foot on the floor. If the floor is too far away, position your block underneath. The knee is pointing up to the ceiling and we want the leg to fall away from the body. You might even like to hold onto the ankle, or you can keep the hand resting on the thigh. Left arm can come above the head if you'd like a little more of a side bend. And just taking a few breaths here into the side waist, the outer hip. Coming back to center. Release the left leg, recline pigeon, other side. Take the variation that your body says yes to. And it could be very different from the left to the right side, and that's okay. Let's release the left leg down. Taking the legs over to the left side now, sole of the right foot flat to the floor or the block. And when you're ready, coming out of the pose, moving into a brief shavasana, straightening, relaxing the legs. Taking up as much space on the mat as feels comfortable. And closing the eyes down. Softening the forehead. the tongue and jaw. And feeling the meeting points between the back side of the body and the mat. Feel that support behind you, underneath you. And then take a deep inhalation and pause. Hold the breath. And as you exhale, give in to gravity. Maybe even har out the breath. And soften around the edges. And just be in this spaciousness. Inhale a little deeper now as you bring your awareness back. Wiggling toes and fingers and swallowing if the mouth is dry. Following any urges to move or stretch. And taking as long as you need to. Maybe roll onto your side for a few breaths, a few moments. Only pressing up to seated when you're ready to continue on with your day. Thank you, yogis, for practicing with me today. I hope that you enjoyed that short, sweet flow. Feel free to make any class requests in the comments below. And if you haven't done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Not just this channel, but anyone you watch on a regular basis. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Have a lovely day.